What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, what's been coming out from the company itself, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So the market's been open 1 hour, and it's already been a hell of a lot of volatility. So 344 at the low, 350 for the high, and kind of low volume. So 4.1 million shares being traded so far, 35.8 is the average. You do see one transaction so far in the secondary market above $100,000. It was a buy based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price for $419,000. So that's pretty good stuff. Immediately straight out the gate, you do have shorts really increasing quite a lot. So at the time doing this video, which again with 1 hour in the market, they're already increasing 2.2 million shares. So shorts have a stupid vendetta, but they are very, very stubborn. So currently increasing, like I said, 2.2 million shares. 30.56% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 273.92 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is a little bit lower in comparison to Friday, so last trading day. So sitting at 6.56. And just to put it in comparison, the all-time high short interest on Lucid is roughly around 32.58%. That was hit on April 23rd, 2024. So yeah, I don't know if shorts are having the intention of really pushing it to that level, but there was no actual news associated to Lucid today, no SEC filings, nothing like that. So it is just piggybacking off of the broader market. There was one data point that did come out, so manufacturing data, not the best. So 47 versus 48.6. So in theory, it is below 50. Meaning the broader market is contracting slightly. So not the best, but the market doesn't seem to be overly caring. All of the major indexes are green. So yeah, it looks like the market really wants to propel a lot of stocks higher, and that's probably because of this. So the fear and greed index is under the greed category, meaning people's appetite for risk is there. So obviously that's kind of fueling it slightly, going up. I think pre-market was at 63, so now 67. So I think yeah, the market wants to go to kind of higher highs as of right now. There was one article that I wanted to share with you, and that was from Motortrend. And in reality, this is a very informational article. So it goes over the history of Lucid and everything, but there was a lot of articles recently saying that a VP was giving all information, that they are looking at partnerships for selling licensing. And in this, it talks on the VP of being Bach. So I think we can kind of correlate now that that's where a lot of that information was coming from, because even in this article, it says that he was there at the grand opening of that new office. But beside the point, there's a lot of information that we kind of know, some speculation, such as Middle Earth being the name and whatever else. But there's some new information I wanted to share with you. So it says right here that Bach at least doesn't see a lower model than that mid-size SUV coming out for Lucid. And this goes back to my bigger plan that I said from the PIF, that the PIF is going to have a Chinese joint ventureship that is going to be the kind of low price vehicle. So I think in reality, I do agree with Bach that Lucid won't make lower priced vehicles other than that mid-sized SUV. So that was kind of good information for the most part. And another thing that he did state was right over here about Chinese competition. And this is something that Peter himself hasn't really talked on. He kind of just says the fact that Lucid is by far the best. Tesla, he sometimes doesn't use the word Tesla, but Tesla is second best. But Bach seems to be, after me reading this, I get the impression that he's somewhat worried, not worried, but they're cautiously watching the Chinese competition for technology, because even NIO, I'm sure a lot of you guys know about NIO, they have really stepped up their tech game, and they just launched recently their L60, so their sub brand, and a lot of that technology is going to be in that lower priced vehicle. So in reality, I agree with Bach as well that there is going to be something you need to watch for competition wise coming out of China. So Lucid does need to really get their licensing out, bring as much revenue as possible, but they cannot stop innovating. And that's one thing that they recently did bring up during that Tech and Manufacturing Day, that Atlas, so the drive unit. So I think that's good. The fact that Lucid is still, they have the best tech, but they're still continuing to innovate. But yeah, I think this article is very good for those of you just wanting to know about what Lucid's been up to. This is a very good overall summarization of everything. So kind of take note of that and read through it if you guys have time. Aside from that though, I just want to go over options. So 114,000 in calls, 130,000 in puts. So given the market's been open 1 hour, that's a fair amount of volume for options. But sentiment wise, 53% of all the options are optimistic and bullish, but with shorts increasing that amount, I'm sure a lot of that is just them hedging, unfortunately. But based on the call options that are being purchased, you do see a consensus for it to be above 450 by October 18th. And that's kind of random because most likely their earnings is going to be around November. So clearly someone must know something, kind of, if that makes sense. That's kind of a low dollar value essentially, but maybe people are hedging and assuming that the Gravity is going to be out by that time frame, causing a nice bump up in the stock price. We'll just have to wait and see. But as of right now, with it at $3.52, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So 343 is going to be the strong support, and that actually was the bottom for today so far. So it bounced off of that general area, and then $3.63 is going to be the next strong resistance slash target. And right now, as I've stated in the video yesterday, I'll move this over so you guys can see that 50-day moving average. Right now, we're still currently below that. 2 consecutive trading days does kind of confirm a trend. So Lucid does really need to fight for its life to get above that. Right now, it's trying its best. So it does definitely need to close above that point. So kind of just take a mental note of that, because if not, then yeah, it could potentially fall to that kind of low threes in reality. But seems to be gaining more and more momentum as of right now. Stochastic though, you do see it oversold. So the first piece of news associated to Lucid, or just broader market optimism, you could see a rush of value investors getting in. And a number of retail investors are, I guess, buying the dip with Lucid. So this is a quick overview of what is happening with Lucid. Still very interesting, and I'm curious to find out why shorts are just relentlessly increasing time and time again. It's it's interesting. Again, maybe they're assuming the Gravity is not going to come out on time, or maybe just more dilution or something along those lines. But yeah, looks like Lucid does want to kind of push higher. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Only 1 week left, and they do give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So this is a kick-ass deal. Link to this is in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.